Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Mostafa Khalil. I am a manager at Google Cloud. I manage the GCVE support team. And this presentation is about Google Cloud VMware Engine, how to build, modernize, and scale your business. The easy on ramp up to the cloud is the GCVE. That's the abbreviation of Google Cloud VMware Engine. You provision your VMware environment in Google Cloud in minutes, similar to the environment that you have on-prem, but it's running in the cloud. You bring your VMware-based environments to Google Cloud without any major modifications. Management, networking services, operating platform, and backend infrastructure runs at scale by Google Cloud. This solution is sold, supported, and developed by Google. What do you get with GCVE? We currently have one SKU, which is called VE1 Standard 72. You get 2.6 gigahertz CPUs, that 36 cores with hyperthreads gives you 72 hyperthreads. Total memory is 768 gigs, and you get about 20 terabyte all-flash NVMe vSAN distributed storage. The network, you get 100 gig, non-oversubscribed, fully redundant network design. When you look here on the right-hand side, you have the standard stack for VMware, where you have the physical servers. We refer to it as bare metal servers. On top of that, we run ESXi and vSAN and deploy NSXT. And the management plane, you get vSAN server, NSX manager, and SGX manager, including the SGX platform itself. The connectivity to private cloud can be done using built-in VPC network connectivity. Our solution runs on Google Cloud and connects to other Google Cloud services using VPC cloud networking. This provides direct high-speed access to all Google Cloud services like BigQuery, Anthos, Cloud Operations, Cloud Storage, and many others. End-to-end of the solution is supported by Google Cloud support. So one call for any of the components, whether on GCVE or on the backend or on Google Cloud or Google services, is a single support ticket you submit, and the relevant team would help or collaborate on helping you. The capabilities of GCVE, from the time you click deploy or provision private cloud, it finishes in about 30 minutes for everything. But in the back end, the NSXT continues with the deployments in the background. But you have access to the environment fully within about 30 minutes from initial deployment. You get enterprise-grade infrastructure. Dimensioned, you had the 100 gig E network and optimized RAM and storage. We are compatible with all third-party tools that VMware supports, and we provide you a feature that's called privilege escalation that gives you full administrative privileges to deploy the third-party tools that may require admin privileges. And we also provide pre-configured service accounts. We call them solution accounts that have administrative privileges with reduced privileges. Just gives it enough administrative privileges to deploy what you need. Connectivity to on-prem, you can use the either VPN, or you can use direct interconnect to GCVE via GCP. And cloud integration is integrated. The consumption of VMware as a service and other cloud services, these are available with the solution. Our SLA will provide 4 nines for network and storage and 3 nines for management infrastructure. And support is available 24/7 first-party support by my team in Google Cloud Support. We have currently 13 regions globally and growing. I will show you a map where they are. And we have more coming down the pike. Unified agreement and account and billing within GCP. So if you have any other GCP services that you subscribe for, it would be under the same agreement. We have available 1 and 3 years commitments, discounts, or you can use the standard hourly discount, hourly rating. The overall cost is lower per VM compared to other solutions. So consuming the service, what's you're only responsible for the workload, all your virtual machines running on top of the private cloud. What comprises the private cloud is our responsibility to maintain and monitor and service and support. So you get the bare metal, as I showed you earlier, the ESXi, vSAN, NSX, and vCenter, NSX Manager, etc. These are all under our responsibility. One size doesn't fit all. So basically, when you are migrating from on-prem to a private cloud, you can either lift and shift workloads, use VMware Engine for that, or you can lift and optimize workloads that you can use Compute Engine. This will require modifications of your applications. Or you can use the hybrid cloud, where you can utilize also Kubernetes, which is, we call it Anthos. Google Cloud VMware Engine solves many customer use cases and solutions, resolves many issues. So it has ease of migration and at lower cost and runs securely. For example, in addition to the overall security, we also deploy vSAN encryption out of the box using Google Cloud KMS service. You create operational agility and operational continuity, and gives you room for innovation where you can utilize any of these available Google Cloud services. For example, Cloud SQL, a stack driver, which I will show you a quick demo later on. You can use, I mentioned, Kubernetes engine, and so on. To migrate from on-prem to private cloud, after you connect your on-prem to private cloud using either VPN or direct interconnect, that's a dedicated interconnect, utilize HCX service. We deploy the cloud side of it as part of the initial deployment, and you select your HCX network subnet when you provision the private cloud. And after it's deployed, then you download and install the on-prem enterprise manager for HCX, and then you go in and configure your network fabric and compute fabric and start migrating virtual machines. This is a map of available regions as of now. The ones in blue are current regions. The ones in green will be future availability zones. The ones in orange are in progress. We plan to deploy them in the future. So as you see, we have availability in all continents except for Africa. What Google Cloud can do for the VMware workloads, as I mentioned earlier, you have first-party solution, which is our solution, and VMware solutions available from VMware. These solutions are bring your own license. You can deploy on top of your private cloud. You can use third-party solutions that are within VMware ecosystem, like Zerto, Veeam, Cohesity, Dell Technologies, and so on. Within Google Cloud, you can use first-party native services, as I mentioned earlier, like Kubernetes or storage buckets and so on. Or you can use Google Cloud Marketplace, ecosystem marketplace services like NetApp, where you can deploy NetApp CVS to present NFS storage to your virtual machines. And NFS storage presented by NetApp CVS can also be presented to ESXi hosts momentarily as part of a backup and restore workflow. and this can be automated via your backup solutions APIs. For DR, an example, you can use Site Recovery Manager to configure the private cloud as a recovery site. And similar to what you do when you have an on-prem and a recovery site physically, where you migrate, where you replicate your on-prem to the recovery site. With our solution, there is no synchronous replication, but you would replicate using vSphere replication. And that will give you up to 5 minutes of RPO. Virtual desktop infrastructure, you can deploy these on VMware, on your private cloud, similar to deploying it on your physical environment. We can work with you on our end to do whatever configuration required on the back end that may not be available through the control plane or the management plane. So a quick call to support. Typically, we don't have calls, so a ticket that you submit and we'll call you back. We'll work with you on it. Using backing up your virtual machines, for example, you can use Veeam or Zerto and so on. In this case, this is your private cloud that's running on GCVE. You can configure a backup repository in the back end within Google Cloud using cloud storage. And the backup would mount or connect to that storage on demand as it's doing the backup to the storage or restore. I'm going to do a demo, and the overview of this demo would be creating a private cloud, configuring networking, and accessing VMware native interfaces. Then I will show some of the other Google Cloud solutions that we integrated within our environment. So I'm going to switch to my demo here. Google Cloud platform interface is called Pantheon. When you log into it, you would create a project, and this project is the one that you will subscribe for GCVE by enabling the API by going to the navigation menu and select VMware Engine. The first time that you select that, it will give you the option to click on to enable the service. But before you enable the service, you need to make sure they have enough nodes quota for the number of ESXi servers they're going to deploy in your private cloud. Minimum nodes that you need for a private cloud are 3 nodes. So how would you request or check the quota? By default, for majority of our GCP customers, we provide default quotas. If you don't see a default quota available, then you can request it from your sales rep, and we will provision the quotas on the back end. And when it's ready, you will see it here. You click on the navigation menu, then you go to IAM admin, then you click on quotas. And then within here, you filter on service, and the service name, search for VMware. It shows you here VMware Engine API. And at this point here, it shows based on initially, because you haven't deployed anything yet, it will show you probably 1 or 2, but here it will show all the regions that are available currently to deploy in. You will see here that we have 8 nodes in the across regions quota. This is called a global quota. And then for each region, you would you will assign a quota out of the global quota to each of these regions. So right now, the total quota, global quota is 8, and we have 2 regions with 4 nodes each. So I already exhausted my global quota because I used up all my 8 nodes. If I want to add more nodes to the environment, to the quota, you can click on select the global quota, sorry, you need to select the checkbox, and then you click Edit Quotas. And then the right-hand side here, you select, okay, the count limit is 8. You set the new limit to the next total count. So if you want to have 4 more nodes in the global quota, you switch this to 12. And then you click Submit Request. This will generate a support request that's sent to the quota team to start processing the quota. At this time, we don't have automated quota processing yet, but this is in progress for the next release. Then after the global quota is allocated, you go and allocate from it the regional quota. So let's say I want to deploy 4 nodes in the regional, a region called US Central 1. I would select this, and I would click on Edit Quotas, and then I would set the new limit here from 0, I set it to 4, if I want to deploy 4 there. So after you're done with setting the quotas, you go back to your project. And assuming that you already have gone through the enabling the API, then you click on VMware Engine. This takes you to the GCVE portal. And in this portal here, you click on Home. And in the bottom here, you have a set of buttons. So initially, you need to create a private cloud. You click on this icon. And here, you would enter the name. And then you select the region where you're going to deploy it. So this is where you allocated the quota. So let's say I'm going to select Asia, Southwest 1. I don't have quotas there. That's why it won't allow me to go further. But assuming that you had the quota, you will see available quota here. By default, minimum 3. You can add here, set it to the maximum of the quota you have. And then here you specify the CIDR block for your vSphere management network and vSAN subnets. And for HCX, as I mentioned earlier, we deploy it automatically. You will specify the CIDR network for HCX. These CIDR networks should not overlap with any networks that you have on-prem. And you specify this the prefix, and you specify the mask here. After you're done with selecting that, you click on Review and Create. From the point you click Review and Create, it takes about 30 minutes to complete the deployment. After it's deployed, you will see the private clouds listed here under Resources. And when you select the private cloud that you just deployed, now you need to configure your network. So initially, if you need to access the private cloud before you configure your on-prem to private cloud connectivity, just to browse through, you need to create a VPN, which is called point-to-site VPN. So what you do is that you go to Network, and you select VPN Gateways. On the top right-hand side here, you click on Create a new VPN gateway. That takes you through the workflow of creating the VPN. So the type of the type here shows point-to-site, which is the only type we have support for. If you want to create site-to-site, it's created from within GCP network. So if we're going to select my region here, if I'm going to do it in if I already deployed the private cloud in that region, that's you select that region. So let's see here. My cloud is in West, so I'm going to select this one. And VPN gateway name, I'm going to give it a name. And then you specify a CIDR block for the client subnet. This is when you connect with the VPN client, the IP addresses will be provisioned from this subnet. And the mask, and then you click on Next. So here I'm going to say 192.168.20.0, and the mask say what you set here is going to limit the number of clients that connect via point-site VPN. So let's say I'm going to put the mask here /28. Go to next. And here you spec existing users that have logged into this portal before. You can enable which users will have access to the VPN. And after you're done, you click create, and we'll create the VPN gateway similar to this. Then once you're done with that, you select the VPN, and then you click download my VPN configuration, which downloads a zip file that when you extract, it will show you files like this. And these files include the OVPN configuration files for SSL and for TCP and UDP. So you want to deploy an open VPN client like Viscosity or OpenVPN, and you right-click on it and you import with that VPN client, or open the client and select this file to import the session, import the session configuration, the connection. Then after that, you connect to the VPN by going to, let me stop this one here. Go into the client and right-click on the session and select connect. So it's shown on my other screen. I'm able to swap it to here. So my VPN is connected. Then I can launch the vSphere client to that session. So I go here and go to resources and select my private cloud. And on the top right here, you select launch vSphere client. It takes you to the landing page that you're familiar with on on-prem with standard VMware vSphere environment. You click on vSphere client HTML5. And it because I'm logged in, it didn't prompt me for a login, but it would prompt you to log in. You log in with a Google, the cloud owner. Cloud. How to find the username is here. The vCenter login. You click on View. It shows here the cloud owner account. You can copy that. And then you copy the password. This is the one that we predefine. And then you can change the password later. And to change the password, just click on Reset Password here, and we'll set it to your whatever password you want to select. In the past, we used to use a standard password, but for security reasons, to improve security, we generate a random complex password for each private cloud. So it's not going to be the same for all private clouds. And then if you want to connect your NSXT, here you can click on View and you have the username and password. And the URL, you can down here, let me see, it's NSXT. It's from within the vSphere client. You go to your NSXT admin. Okay, so configuring other network connectivities. So to configure connectivity to the on-prem, you would go to the VPC network, where you can configure the various VPCs, and you can configure the VPN, side-to-side VPN, using hybrid connectivity VPN. You can utilize one of the Google Cloud services. It's called the Stack Driver via the monitoring service monitor section here. And once you configure it, you create a dashboard, and if you go to Overview here, it will take you through what it is and how to step by step how to configure it. And it shows here the various types of charts. To connect to the dashboards, you click on Dashboards, and you will see the various dashboards that you would create or you have created. So for example, it can go here to the overview. And here you would see the data center. Underneath that, you have the cluster count and the data store, host, and so on, and VMs, and the total storage and memory, and host and read state or status, or and the number of VMs. And here it shows you the CPU utilization and the host CPU usage and memory and so on. All set of monitoring metrics that you can monitor from here. So to configure storage, you go to cloud storage and you can go to settings. And here you can specify project access and interoperability. And here's the information that you need for configuring the connectivity. So go back here to browse. These are all the storage that we have defined on GCP services. And by clicking on one of them, for example, can go to GCP test. You will see here the folders that I've created on the storage. These containers or these buckets can be accessed from within your virtual machines by defining connection to these buckets from within the environment. So the most important things to bear in mind is that the sequence of events after you enable, before you enable the service, you need to make sure they have enough quota. Minimum nodes are 3 nodes, and then you enable the service, and then you launch the portal by clicking on VMware Engine. And go back here to the slides for final set of slides here. So Google Cloud VMware Engine is best-in-class offering. We provide the experience, one-stop shop where you have everything under one roof, and unified connectivity. You can use Google Cloud Connects or VPN or both. You can manage using Google Cloud identities, access control billing, and so on. Use familiar VMware ecosystem tools on top of GCVE, and use services such as storage, Stackdriver, BigQuery, Anthos, and so on. And these are the typical use cases. You have decommission, and you can create it as primary and secondary. Thank you for your time.